Cruising the block with that Midwest glow. Got the game on the screen, that's just how the days go. Yeah. This that good life we talking about. Dad Snark Podcast. Let it all hang out. Yeah, this that good life we talking about. Dad Snark Podcast. Let it all hang out.
Hey there, everybody. This is Kyle coming to you from my basement. I thought I'd get this last episode of the Dad Snark Podcast in before we have a big break. So, a lot of stuff going on. So, what's going on that's good in my life right now? Well, my youngest, my daughter, is graduating. She had her last day of school, actually, already. And she will be graduating on the upcoming Friday night. And then we have a Project Grad event, which is kind of a lock-in type thing where it's ensured that all the kids are safe, and not out drinking and partying. Because it's different times than when I was younger. But to be honest with you, I actually went to a lock-in for my senior deal too. And it was pretty fun because they had a lot of stuff to do. And in addition to that, you could win prizes. And there's going to be a lot of prizes for this event. So pretty cool deal. But yeah, that'll be pretty exhausting. And then, the week after that really is just spent getting ready for this cruise, the first cruise we've all been on. So that'll be interesting as well. Do know some of what to expect and don't know some more of what to expect. So that leads right into the other good thing that's going on in my life, which is the big cruise to Mexico. 3 stops. While we're out. First full day will be at sea after we board the night before. We'll be at sea all day, and then we will be landing in Cabo San Lucas. Not actually landing, sorry. We will be tendering in on smaller boats. So you go down to the bottom of the ship, and there's these little boats you hop on, and those take you into the actual port. That's the only port we'll have to do that for. The other 2 ports that we'll go to actually pull right up to a dock. So, but yeah, we got some stuff planned there. We're going to go to a nearby small town and just enjoy the culture and art and stuff like that there. Have a lunch there. I believe a tequila tasting. And then we'll be coming back and getting back on the ship. Because it takes off, and then the next day we will be in Mazatlan, which should be really cool. And I actually booked us to go to see Lucha Libre. So we're going to go watch some professional wrestling, and we're going to eat some of those tacos that, they saw out of like the back of a bicycle or motorcycle in the hot box. They got some of those for us, and kind of poke around and stuff and check the place out. There's a lot of cultural stuff in that town. And then we'll get back on the ship. And then the very next day, we actually we actually dock in Puerto Vallarta. And then we have, I'm trying to remember what we have going on there. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know my wife's got something for us. So, that'll be really cool too, and we're looking forward to that. I think it's a dancing cultural type of situation, but let me double check here real quick what we'll be doing there. But yeah, it looks really cool, and we'll have a lot of fun doing all these things. We're very excited about it, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how it all goes. Again, I've never been on a cruise or anything like that. So yeah, it'll be interesting, and we're very excited to check it out. So let me see here. Gosh darn it. I can't remember what we do on that last shore, that last excursion. I don't think it's the Viva Tequila. Oh yeah, it may be, actually. It may be. No, it's not. All right. That's horrible. I can't even remember what all deals we're doing, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. We're excited, and we're going to have a great time, and we can hardly wait. So It's going to be really interesting. I'm very excited to see how it all goes and what we're going to be enjoying and all the fun we're going to have. So there'll be a lot of pictures. Got the new camera in. I told you a little bit about that. And then I also finally got in the CPL filter. So went ahead and installed that. So that's kind of cool. So, even as bright and everything as it is, it'll be really pretty slick to use when I'm out and about and shooting pictures in that really, really sunny environment. So yeah, it's exciting. We're very jazzed about it, and we can hardly wait, to be honest with you. We really, it's kind of one of those trips of a lifetime, it'll be the last big trip we take as a big family like this. And, yeah, it's going to be cool. So speaking of, I've been pretty messed up over the last couple weeks. I'm actually doing way better now, but I wasn't doing very well there. I had some serious allergy action, and it's interesting because usually spring allergies don't get to me. However, we've had so many situations where it's been 85 one day, and then 2 days later it's 40. So the temperature's been up and down. It's really messes with the plants a lot. It's messed with the hot tub as well, which I actually ended up cleaning and draining and refilling. So it's all good to go. But it's been really hell, man. I mean, I cannot say enough crappy things about it. Like, I had to miss a day of work, at least one, maybe two, and some partial days as well, because I just couldn't even sit up and do that. But I'm doing a lot better. I went to go see a doctor. They thought it was the beginnings of a sinus infection. And so they gave me some antibiotics and some other medications like cough suppressant type medications. And then I've been taking the Mucinex DM, which definitely has helped quite a bit. So doing a lot better now, but man, hang in there if you're going through that, because it really, 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 really sucked. So yeah. Let's see. What am I into right now? So, yeah, right now I am, what am I listening to? Well, we went to the Jeff Tate show, and it was the Operation Mindcrime 3. He just came out with that album, and he did the full Operation Mindcrime show and sang some songs also from the new album and even the second Operation Mindcrime, in addition to some other hits that he has through Queensryche. And it was really cool. Actually, he ended on the song Queen of the Reich, which is from their very first EP. And I just so happened, because we were going to go meet the band and meet him afterwards, I just so happened to bring my original cassette tape of that very first EP with me for him to sign. So it was kind of cool. And then I also brought Rage for Order, which he signed as well. But yeah, really, really, really cool. All the bands were awesome, and we had a real fun time, and really enjoyed watching that. I kind of felt sorry for my wife. I know that's probably the last time we're going to go see him, just because, first off, I don't even think he's going to be going anymore after this. I think he's pretty much done with this, so no big deal. But it was super long, and I don't think my wife appreciated it as much as I did. So, and that's okay. She's a trooper. The other thing I've been listening to lately is another band called Angine de Poitrine. And they're a French band, obviously, but I don't really know how to explain it other than to say they're almost experimental techno type music, It's definitely an interesting sound, and I'll put a link to it in the notes so you can go check that out and, see what you think of it. But yeah. And I'll have the Jeff Tate. I've got some pictures I'll put in the photos as well. What am I watching? Well, we're watching Scrubs. Come on, man. We're into the second season now. We love it. We're also watching a couple shows that are Apple TV. The first one being Margot's Got Money Troubles. Now, not sure if you've seen that, but this is, oh gosh, Elle Fanning. So Dakota Fanning's sister is the main character, Margot. Michelle Pfeiffer plays her mother. Her dad is played by Ron Swanson. I know that's not his real name, but if you've ever watched Parks and Rec, you know who Ron Swanson is. And then he has a friend also who's played by Nicole Kidman. It is an amazing show. You just have to see it. I don't want to explain too much about it, short of the fact that at the beginning, in the first episode, Margot has an affair with one of her professors and becomes pregnant. So there you go. But it's a great show. I highly recommend it. And it's got a little bit of all of it. It's very funny. It's also very touching. And so, you know, Apple TV shows kind of have a way of doing that. And I think Ted Lasso is a prime example. All right. Another one I'm watching also, I believe, is Apple TV, and that's Widow's Bay. Now, that show is really interesting because if you watch trailers and stuff, you kind of get the idea that it's a horror show. And it is somewhat, but it's actually a comedy as well. Think along the lines of Parks and Recreation mixed with, you know, Jaws, when the sheriff is trying to keep everybody safe, but the mayor or whatever wants to open the beaches, that kind of situation. Kind of flip-flop, though, because the main character is the mayor. But yeah, it's really interesting. I highly recommend it if you like something that kind of is a little bit gripping, a little bit thrilling, tiny bit horror, but definitely fun to watch. I enjoy it quite a bit. I would highly recommend you watch that one. And then the things that I'd like to see, I'd really like to see Hokum. Don't know when I'm going to be able to go see that. I doubt it'll still be in theaters when we get back from this trip, so probably going to have to wait for video on that one. But Adam Scott, I've heard that film is just really good. Very scary. A lot of big horror guys that I watch on YouTube, they all say they've seen it and it's frightening. So when a horror buff or horror film watcher says that, it's probably going to be scary. And then the other one that's coming up, actually I think it comes out when we get back, the day we get back, and that is Backrooms, which is a liminal spaces kind of horror film based upon a series that the creator of this whole thing did on YouTube. He did a whole series of these liminal spaces, backrooms type things. And now A24 has given him the go-ahead, and he's actually directed this film. It looks amazing, and I cannot wait to see that. I will try to remember to put the link to the trailer for Backrooms in the notes as well. What am I reading? Well, I just finished up a 5-book series, so comics, of Alien, the original screenplay, which is very interesting because it's definitely different from the film Alien that we all saw and loved. It's good. It's really good, and it's different, but I see why they changed it so much, because I don't think it would have flown if they would have stuck so really tightly to the original screenplay by Dan O'Bannon, I believe. I don't remember who else, but what they ended up with, what Ridley Scott ended up with, is remarkable in 1979. I just don't think they would have been able to pull it off if it would have been this story. But it is similar. There's a lot of similarities, and there's also an equal amount or more differences. So it is a good book, though. Read it if you get a chance. I just started the Event Horizon Inferno, too, the first book in that series, and that one was really good as well. And then I've read the first few books of Viking Moon, which is interesting, too. These Vikings land, and I don't really even know how to explain it, but there's something supernatural alongside the Indians. So I think the American Indians here they've landed in America. And so there's something supernatural happening as well. So, maybe beyond the big bad Viking guys' capabilities to fight, which is really mostly what they love to do. And you know what? I want to go back real quick because I want to talk about one movie that I watched this last week too. I forgot to tell you that I watched The Green Knight finally. I've had the special 4K edition of that from A24, the big book style. I finally got a chance to watch that, and I highly recommend that as well. It is a slow burn, but man, it is very rewarding, and it's a beautiful looking film. The other thing I really like about it is they did incorporate some diversity into the film, but it wasn't blatantly obvious or keyed in upon. It just kind of happens. And I thought that was pretty cool because, you know, none of us were there then anyway, in the 12 and 1300s. So who's to say it wasn't like that, or the 1500s, whatever it was. Is King Arthur, I believe, in the Knights of the Round Table. The main guy is one of those knights, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it was, I believe, written by William Shakespeare, but anonymously also. It's really good if you get a chance. Okay, and then what am I playing? Nothing at all. Too busy to do that right now. Podcasts. Well, first things first on that. Big news. All of the Dad Snark podcast episodes and all of the Hawk Picks episodes are now available on YouTube. Since they're not really video, what they do is basically put the cover art for that episode up and just play the audio. So you can listen to that or watch that, you know, whatever you want. Now, there are some videos that are on both of those channels. I know that there are some Dad Snark podcast episodes that are on there that are video versions that I did. So that's in there as well. I know there's also some special reports and some just short videos in Hawk Picks that'll be up there as well. But yes, both of those are now available on YouTube. So go check that out if you get a chance. And as always, you know, on this podcast and on the Hawk Picks podcast, please go rate and review. It does make a difference. I'm getting ready to push really hard towards expanding the social media aspects and the branding of Hawk Picks and Hawkman's Goods. I really want, I have a whole, plan set up to go through various things to grow that audience and to grow the idea of that branding online. And so there's going to be a big push that way soon. Still be doing the Dad Snark podcast. Don't worry about it. At least as far as I can tell for now. And then the other two podcasts, the Limitless AI podcast I've told you guys about. I really love that. That actually, they do that on YouTube every day too. And it is video. So check that one out if you get a chance. And then AI Chat, which I've talked about before. A very young man talking about AI and everything, all the happenings. Both those podcasts are about, you know, what's big, what's happening right now in AI. So, and there's a lot of IPOs coming up here. And so probably going to try and get involved in some of those and see what happens. But that is it, guys. That's all I have for you. I will see you guys again in about a month, about the middle of June or so, somewhere in there. Because as soon as we get back, we hit the ground running with the big graduation party for my daughter as well. And then things are all kind of starting moving at that point. As a matter of fact, she starts her internship next week, the same week that we're leaving, at a local hospital here. So, and it'll be a hospital where she's kind of going to see it all. She probably will see gunshot wounds and stab wounds. I'm guessing it's a pretty rough part of town. And I know a lot of the very, very serious cases go through that place. So, that'll be interesting to see how that all works out. I think she'll do great. I wish her the best, of course. So, but I will talk to you guys again in mid-June. I appreciate you listening. Keep on keeping on, and do me a big favor while I'm gone. Get off my lawn.
Dad Snark podcast, let it all hang out.